In this video, we're going to be comparing three of the best cubes on the market, the Volk 3 Elite, the GAN XS, and the MOIU GTS 3M. Let's dive into it. First, let's start with some specs. Starting with the Volk 3 Elite, it comes in at $72 Australian before discount. It has an edge length of 55mm and it weighs just 76 grams. As for the XS, right now it's on sale for $83 Australian, it has an edge length of 56mm and weighs just 68 grams. Last but not least, we have the MOIU GTS 3M. It comes in at just $49 Australian, has an edge length of 56mm and weighs just 92 grams. The Volk Elite and the XS both come in black and stickless variants, but the MOIU GTS 3M only comes in this ridged stickless version. Before we get into the first turns of these cubes, let's quickly compare the unboxing experiences. Starting with the Volk Elite, it comes in this sleek black box sealed in plastic. Upon opening the box, you'll see the cube and a little carry case, as well as 4 smaller cardboard boxes. The first box contains some postcards, a sticker, and also you get a cleaning cloth. The second contains one of the center caps with the weaker strength magnets. The third contains the stronger magnets with the center caps, and the final one contains the adjustable spring sets. Now for the GAN XS, the box is always incredible with GAN puzzles. It looks very much like an iPhone box this time around, and upon opening it, you'll see you get this little plastic VIP card, which is sort of the same material as a credit card, and then you get the cube. And then on top of that, you also get this little cardboard box, which contains a cube bag, some replacement center caps, which are used for the GAN robot, which will be for a later version that can work with this cube. On top of that, you get a CFOP pamphlet and another pamphlet which explains how the functionality works of some of the features. Last but not least, again, we have the GTS 3M box, and I gotta say, this design is timeless. I know it was released quite a while ago, but the sleek back box with the gold foil on top really just looks incredible. Although you don't get as much with this unboxing, which sort of makes sense though because the price is cheaper. All you get is the cube and a little display case. You also get a little accessories box with a small screwdriver, some tensioning tools, some replacement magnets, the tool to adjust the spring tension, and a few postcards. Now let's quickly go over the first turns. Starting with the Volk, out of the box, it comes really smooth and crisp. It comes with the medium magnets and the medium springs, and this is perfect to start off. I'd say this is the setup that most people would use, but if you don't like that, of course you also have the weaker magnets, the weaker springs, and the stronger magnets and the stronger springs. So if you're not happy with the stock setup, they are available. But I gotta say, right out of the box with no lube, the one bad thing about it is it's a little bit tight, but other than that, it's extremely smooth and really well set up. As for the GAN XS, it's also really smooth and well set up. The only bad thing about it is to adjust the magnet strengths with this cube, you have to put your fingernails under the pieces, and that's where the lubricant is obviously located. So it does feel a little bit awkward to adjust it. You got to stick your fingernail in there, and you do get a bit of lubricant on your fingertips, which can be cleaned off, but it is a little bit more awkward in comparison to the Volk Elite. And finally, the GTS 3M is definitely the fastest cube out of the box. I'd say for most cubers, the speed is probably a little bit uncontrollable. So you definitely probably want to pick up a silicone lubricant to slow this down. Other than that, it's got a very crispy and dry feeling out of the box. And yeah, it's a little bit too fast. And the ridges will take a while to get used to if you've never used a cube with ridges before. Now let's briefly listen to the sound of all three cubes, and then we'll get into the customization options a bit deeper. Starting with the Volk Elite. Now we have the GAN XS. And finally the GTS 3M. If sound is really important to you, I'm going to have to give the edge to the XS here since it's very quiet, especially in comparison to the GTS 3, but the Elite is in a close second. Now let's start with the customization options, starting with the GTS 3M. We're starting with this because it does in fact have the least amount of customization. The only thing you can adjust with this cube is the spring tension, and you do get this little tool to do that. All you have to do is place it on top, and then I believe you get 8 different stops of spring tension, which is quite a bit in comparison to the other two puzzles, but you cannot adjust the magnet strength at all in this cube. So you got to be happy with how it comes out of the box because that cannot be changed. Now onto the Volk Elite, you do get quite a lot of customization options. The first thing we'll talk about is the magnetic center caps, which definitely is a world's first for a manufactured puzzle. I believe people have modded this in the past, but it's never been mass produced by a company. So the way it works basically is each little center cap has magnet pieces encased in plastic, and you get 3 different strengths. You get moderate, which is already in the cube, and then you get light, which is green, and strong, which is red. And I gotta say, all 3 of these do feel really different, so this does really cover a broad spectrum and will undoubtedly please the vast majority of cubers with different types of strength for the magnets. Next, we have the adjustable spring system, and basically it's similar to the magnet strength. You get 3 different sets of springs here. All you have to do to replace them is unscrew this screw, take out the old spring and pop in a new one of your choice, and you do that on all 6 sides, and then you're done. It comes in the cube with the moderate ones, which are clear, and then you have weak, which is green, and strong, which is red. And they're very easy to change, but I'd say not quite as easy as the GAN XS. Last but not least, we have the GAN XS. Starting with the springs, you get this little tool which allows you to change the spring tension. All you have to do is put the tool on top and lock it in, and then we're on setting 1 right now. So we go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and basically what's happening is that little clear nut is going up or down depending on the setting you have it on. You also get these little blue things in the middle which you can swap with the darker blue ones, but personally in my experience, when you swap these out, you can't really feel a whole lot of difference. So really the big difference for the spring settings here is going to be changing that clear nut. The XS also has adjustable magnets, but as I said previously, it is a little bit more awkward to change than the Volk Elite. You do have to stick your finger in there, and that does get a little bit of lubricant on your hands. And it's not the easiest to adjust. You can take them out, which makes it a little bit easier, but then you have to take out every single piece, which does become a bit of a hassle. So overall, I think the Volk Elite gets the edge here, makes it a little bit easier to customize. Now that we've got everything else out of the way, let's go to the performance of these 3 cubes. Starting with the Volk Elite, it is extremely smooth out of the box. It comes very well lubricated from the factory. The only downside is it's a little bit tight, but once you loosen those tensions, this cube really comes to life. It's smooth, it corner cuts really well, and overall the performance is great. Lockups are minimal, which is also fantastic, but it still retains the Volk feel, which everyone has come to know and love. This is definitely one of the best cubes of the year. As for the XS, right out of the box, you notice just how light this puzzle is. The other 2 aren't exactly heavy, but this cube is just really light, which makes it feel great in the hands and means you can use it for a long time without experiencing fatigue. On top of that, it also comes extremely smooth out of the box, and on top of it being light, it has a very plush feeling, which makes for a great solving experience. It has excellent corner cutting and can cut more than halfway, which is great, and overall, the turning on this cube is really amazing, and it's definitely another cube which is one of the best of the year. As for the GTS 3, the design is definitely the most unstable out of these 3 cubes. Not to say it's not a bad performer, because it performs excellently. It's got a very crisp and fast feeling, but it does feel less stable than the GAN XS and really less stable than the Volk Elite, which definitely is noticeable once you've used the other 2 cubes for quite a while. This doesn't mean it's a bad cube, as I said, but it definitely is something to consider. If you like stable puzzles, maybe give this one a miss. Another thing which you can't get over is the ridges. I know a lot of people say you forget about them really quickly, but for me, I couldn't get over them. They were just a little bit too noticeable, and I prefer if it had no ridges like the WRM. On the other hand, that little bit of extra instability gives you a whole lot more corner cutting. Is this corner cutting necessary though? Not really. The other 2 cubes are way more stable and they corner cut just fine, if not great, but this one does have the best corner cutting out of all 3. But overall, the turning of this puzzle is still really good, definitely better than a lot of other puzzles on the market, but I definitely think it is the weakest out of these 3 puzzles. In conclusion, let's go over all 3 cubes and why they're good and who they would suit. Starting with the GTS 3, this is a great pick if you definitely don't have a lot of money to spend, because it's still a great option. Just make sure you pick up some silicone lube or borrow a friend if they have some, because it is a little bit too fast out of the box and you'll probably want to slow it down. It doesn't come with as much customization options as the other 2, especially the magnetic strength, but if you like medium to strong magnets, that's not going to be a problem anyway, and it's a very good option and definitely the cheapest out of the 3. As for the GAN XS, if you love the feeling of GAN puzzles being really light and plush and easy to use, then you're definitely going to love this puzzle, as it's no exception. The light feeling is incredible. It means you can solve for hours and hours without fatigue, and it's just a great overall puzzle. The performance is great and the customization is there to please almost every single cuber. Last but not least, we have the Volk Elite. I'd definitely say this is the winner out of all these 3 puzzles, and the reason I think that is it has the most distinctive customization options. What I mean by that is the differences between the strong, medium and weak settings for the magnets and springs are most different. The GAN XS does have these 3 options, but they're not quite as different to each other. They do sort of feel very similar between the different settings, and you do get more options technically with the GAN XS, but with the Volk Elite, the fewer options feel more different. So I definitely think that gives the Elite the win out of these 3 cubes. On top of that, it is the newest puzzle, and on top of that, if you love Volk puzzles, that's another great reason to buy it, because it does have that Volk feel while feeling updated for a 2019 flagship puzzle. Thanks so much for watching our video comparing the Volk Elite, GAN XS, and the GTS 3M. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like and comment, or let us know what you didn't like or how we can improve, and we'll make sure to take that in consideration for future videos. We really hope this helped you in making your decision if you're going to purchase one of these 3 cubes, and we'll see you in the next video, so please make sure to subscribe.